Aang may have gone down as one of the greatest avatars ever, but that's not to say his predecessors weren't pretty amazing as well. In Legend of Korra, we meet the very first Avatar, and get to see exactly how he became the Avatar. After forcing Rava and Vaatu apart from each other and learning that their fight needed to be fought, he searched the world and mastered all 4 elements, and later merged with Rava, creating the Avatar. You're watching Avatar Discussions, and this is the history of Avatar Wan. Before Wan, firebending did not really exist among humans. It was a complex martial art. Although the lion turtles gave the temporary gift of the elements to humans, the use of fire by the hunters was brute strength and clumsy. However, Wan befriended the spirits after being driven out into the spirit wilds and was embraced by them. He was taught the art of firebending by a white dragon, using complex ways to harness the fire and make it an extension of his own body, much as Aang and Zuko would learn thousands of years later from the firebending masters Ran and Shaw. The other poor people of the Lion Turtle City decided that they too should free themselves from the tyranny of the Chose, and live out in the spirit wilds after seeing Wan demonstrate his skills. They took the fire out of the Lion Turtle and left the area, becoming the Fire Nation's first seed. Wan went on to voyage to explore the other Lion Turtle towns after mastering the art of firebending. He met spirits fleeing from a great and terrible war between 2 immense spirits as he roamed the world, one light and one dark. To stop the battle, Wan used his firebending, and the dark spirit pleaded with him to split up the 2 of them, saying that the other spirit had been threatening him for centuries. Wan complied, untangling the tendrils of the 2 spirits. However, he realized his mistake too late. Rava and Vaatu were called the light and dark spirits, and they fought every 10,000 years to maintain the balance of light and darkness in the world. He had unintentionally released darkness and chaos upon the planet by setting Vaatu free. Wan tried to look for the other Lion Turtle cities after freeing Vaatu until he came across one that floated in the sky, with the Lion Turtle offering the element of air to his residents. These individuals were the original air nomads, and they lived with the spirits peacefully. That is, until Vaatu converted the friendly spirits into monsters. Wan asked the Lion Turtle, trying to fix what he had done, to give him air control. The Lion Turtle explained that no human had ever held 2 elements at once, and that before he mastered airbending, Rava would have to hold on to the force of air for him. Wan and Rava traveled from one Lion Turtle town to the next until, with Rava's aid, he had mastered all 4 elements. However, this took time during which Vaatu continued to develop in strength, and Rava shrank until she was so small that Wan had to carry her around inside a tea kettle. Incidentally, a tea kettle that would later fall into the hands of Uncle Iroh. Rava, Wan, and Vaatu were ready to fight for the future of the universe as the planets aligned for the harmonic fusion. In the battle with Vaatu, Rava and Wan were close to defeat when the harmonic fusion caused the 2 spirit portals to merge. Wan touched the combined stream of spiritual energy with his hand after taking Rava into his body to draw on her strength. In doing so, he eternally fused Rava with his soul, connecting them so fully that even death could not separate them. His soul was reincarnated into another human with Rava still attached to it when Wan finally died. The white light that shines from his eyes is actually Rava when Aang enters the Avatar state. In The Legend of Korra, Book 2 is often thought as the lowest point in the series. It did a lot of messing around with already established characters, Avatar lore, and introduced one of the most annoying and forgettable villains in the series, Unalaq.
Anyone there? Guys!
With his deadly obsession with the spirit world. However, the one highlight of the season was the backstory shown for the first ever Avatar, Wan. Playing out in a time before the 4 nations were properly formed, as well as a time where spirits had a majority claim over the Earth, fans of the series were given some deep insight into what life was like for the very first Avatar, and how exactly he came to be the Avatar. That doesn't mean that fans picked up on every detail that was shown, as there are some details that would fly under the radar if viewers weren't looking for them. As a native to the Lion Turtle City who gave its citizens fire, it's fair to say that his people would go on to become the Fire Nation in the 10,000 years that followed the events of the beginning. Wan's eye color was one of the more subtle references to this. Many firebenders are known to have the same copper-colored eyes as Wan in The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra. Although Wan's English translation is simple enough to relate to the number 1, his name also has a hidden meaning that has been shown in the series before, as he is the first Avatar to ever exist. Wan means 10,000 in Mandarin, a reference to him living 10,000 years before the events of The Legend of Korra. This was also used for the spirit of the owl, Wan Shi Tong, whose library was used to find a way to stop the 100 Years' War by Avatar Aang and his party. Wan Shi Tong means he who knows 10,000 things in Mandarin, which the spirit also references in the episode he is presented in. Designing one of their characters in the likeness of someone on their team is not unusual for an animator. Juan was modeled after showrunner and Avatar co-creator Brian Konietzko, who also played the foaming at the mouth man in Kyoshi Warriors and Avatar Day in The Last Airbender, and in the art book of Book 2 of Legend of Korra. The cycle of elements is one feature of the Avatar that is fairly well known among fans. The cycle moves from the Fire Nation to the Air Nomads, the Water Tribe, and finally to the Earth Kingdom, then back to the Fire Nation to start the cycle again. This is the order in which the Avatar is expected to learn the respective elements, beginning with their native bending and working in order through the loop. While many people used the power of fire before him, Juan was the first to really shape the art of firebending, as seen when a group of wanderers who try to strike him with their own fire can easily be outclassed. As the Avatar, his bending abilities are supposed to be above the average of most firebenders. It is mentioned in The Last Airbender that by observing the original masters of bending, humans learn how to bend the elements: dragons, sky bison, badger moles, and the moon. Although The Legend of Korra may have built on that concept with the lion turtles giving power to humans but not the art itself, viewers first see a bender being trained with Juan by the original masters. Juan learns the way of firebending from a dragon spirit during his time in the Spirit Wilds, who shows him the dancing dragon bending form. In Book 3 of The Last Airbender, the firebending masters, this is the same way Aang and Zuko hear from the dragons, where they hear that the dragons are not as dead as the world considers them to be. The Avatar is not only the bridge between humans and spirits, but also a unifying force for the four nations, where all people must be neutral and fairly observed. The Red Lotus could have never been created if it were not for Juan's axe, but it could also be argued that the planet would have been plunged into 10,000 years of darkness promised instead by Vaatu. Juan's acts are one of their key problems with the Avatar, as he has not only sealed Vaatu away in the Tree of Time, but also closed the celestial universe from the physical world until 10,000 years later. Though he was unable to unify the four nations in his time, Juan died fighting in a battle with or alongside the Earth Kingdom in the last moments of his life, as he was surrounded by several large coins that were the signature siege weapons of the Earthbenders. During the Book 2 of Avatar: The Last Airbender, episode Zuko Alone, where Zuko travels through a field of broken Earth Kingdom coins on his way to the rural area, this place that he died in was seen much earlier in the Avatar universe. There is still a lot more to learn about Juan, and we're not sure if we'll ever know. Juan is arguably the most important Avatar ever, because without him, there wouldn't be any future Avatars. But he's often overlooked. So, is Juan your favorite Avatar? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your opinions. Thanks for watching, and stay flamin'!